Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. This is another Star Wars Rattlorian content stream. So today we will be talking about my opinion on the prequels of Star Wars, episodes 1, 2, and 3. Kind of what my ratings are, what my thoughts are, but be sure to comment what your guys' thoughts are. I can always talk about that on the channel as well. So first off, episode 1, Phantom Menace. I would give the Phantom Menace a 7.1. My reasoning behind that is some of the pros of it. The lightsaber duel between Qui-Gon Jinn, Obi-Wan, and Darth Maul. It's one of the best lightsaber battles in all of Star Wars. That's one of the reasons I would give it a higher score. One of the reasons I'd kind of demote it a little bit, obviously, is because of the introduction of Jar Jar Binks. I know a lot of people don't like his character arc. I don't know. I think George Lucas brought him in to Star Wars to try to ease up everybody in Star Wars, try to get somebody that's funny, kind of goofy. And I think it just never really clicked. So, yeah, Phantom Menace 7.1. You kind of see how the Chancellor, or how Senator Palpatine is eventually made Chancellor. He kind of corrupts Queen Amidala, well, her handmaiden, and calls in a vote of no confidence for Chancellor Valorum. And that basically starts the Emperor's rise to power. But overall, I think it's a great movie. I wish we would have seen a little more out of Darth Maul. I mean, we see a lot of him, obviously, in the Clone Wars TV series and Rebels. And then, obviously, we see him in Solo. And if they do make a second Solo movie, I would hope that they bring more Darth Maul into the mix. That would be awesome. So, yeah, moving on from episode 1, we're going to move into episode 2, Attack of the Clones. So, obviously, with Darth Maul dying, comes back to life eventually. The Emperor finds a new apprentice, or the Chancellor, and that's Count Dooku. So Count Dooku originally he left the Order because he thought that the Order was corrupt, and he saw large-scale conflicts coming. And he's the one that basically took over or started the creation of the Clone Army, because he was the one in the Clone Wars TV series that had Jedi Master Sifo Dyas killed. Because Sifo Dyas was the one who originally had the creation of the Clone Army. So, episode 2, I would give a 6.7. The lightsaber duels between Obi-Wan, Anakin, and Count Dooku are pretty good. I don't like, though, how when Anakin gets his arm cut off, it's almost like he gives him, like he just opens up his body and lets him cut off his arm. Like, I don't understand that. But, I mean, Luke had his hand cut off in episode 5. So, I mean, I guess his dad's got to have his arm cut off in episode 2, kind of have a link there. But the battle between Yoda and Count Dooku, that's one of my favorite battles, too. You get to see how quick Yoda is. And that probably confused a lot of people when they first saw it. Like, how could somebody so frail be able to move so quick? And Yoda actually uses the Force while he's attacking. It like basically gives him more energy. That's why he moves so fast. So when he's not in a lightsaber fight, that's when he moves kind of slower and just walks at his own pace. But yeah, the cons of episode 2, I would say, are kind of like, obviously we have to have a backstory on Luke and Leia's parents. I just think that they kind of extended out the love story between Anakin and Padme for too long in episode 2. Like, we could have had a little more action, and I think that's where a lot of people kind of don't like the prequels as much, where you get a lot of like prequel fans fighting with sequel fans, and is because of this movie and episode 1. And then also we get Hayden Christensen in it. Now, Anakin's my favorite character. He's always been my favorite character, along with Darth Vader. Like, obviously, they're the same person, but I think they're two different characters, even though they're technically the same person in the Star Wars universe. But a lot of people kind of say that Hayden Christensen didn't do a good job, but I feel like it was such a big role that he had to do the very best he could, because you have probably one of the greatest voices of all time, you know, saying the lines for Darth Vader, James Earl Jones. Like, to be in that position where it's like your first big role and you have to play Anakin Skywalker, like, I think he did good. I think he did it the best to his ability. So yeah, that's what I think about episode 2. And then episode 3. Personally, for me, episode 3 is one of my favorites. I remember when I was a kid, it came out in 2005. I was just, a young kid, saw it the first time. And I mean, the opening to the movie was even electric. You get the battle over Coruscant, Anakin and Obi-Wan are fighting to just stay alive in their Jedi starfighters. And they eventually go and find the Chancellor. So the Chancellor's kind of looked out for Anakin ever since he came to the Jedi Order, to the Jedi Temple. And he's kind of been a mentor. And we see in his final battle against Dooku how much stronger and more powerful Anakin's gotten. And the Emperor's like, well, Anakin eventually kills Dooku. It says one of my favorite Emperor lines. And he tells Anakin to do it. And so the Emperor then goes on to tell Grievous that he's going to have a new apprentice and that the war is just about to end, when in reality, the next war is about to begin. So Anakin starts having nightmares again, like he did about his mother in episode 2, but this time about Padme. So he's trying to figure out ways to save Padme from death, but obviously he's letting these visions kind of influence his decisions. So when he finds out that the Emperor, or that Chancellor Palpatine is the Sith Lord they've been looking for, he tells Mace Windu, and Mace Windu goes to the Senate and tries to kill the Emperor. Well, Anakin's he's confused. There's some turmoil building inside him. And I think he's trying to make the right decision, but he doesn't want to lose his wife either. Because he's dealt with a lot of pain in his life as a Jedi. He lost his mother. He lost his Padawan, Ahsoka Tano. She left the Jedi Order after she was framed in the Clone Wars TV series. And really, you could tell that Anakin was kind of sad that he wasn't Obi-Wan's Padawan anymore. I mean, he was his best friend, obviously, still. And Obi-Wan will always be Anakin's master up until this movie. So that kind of built up turmoil too, because he felt like Obi-Wan was holding him back. And this eventually leads to the creation of Darth Vader. So Mace Windu is actually the only Jedi we know to defeat Darth Sidious in a one-on-one. Darth Sidious kills 3 other Jedi in the fight, and Anakin cuts off Mace Windu's hand, and the Emperor electrocutes him and kills him, and then makes Anakin his new apprentice. During all this time, we had probably 2 of the biggest influencers to Anakin are gone off on other worlds. Yoda's on Kashyyyk, trying to help keep Kashyyyk a free planet from the Separatists. And Obi-Wan is on Utapau, trying to find General Grievous to end the war. So Obi-Wan kills Grievous, and that's when Mace Windu eventually goes with the Jedi to the Senate to remove Chancellor Palpatine from office because he was in office too long. At the end of episode 3, we have the battle, well, not at the end, but the Chancellor obviously executes Order 66, has all the clones turn on all the Jedi, and then Anakin storms the Jedi Temple, catches them off guard, kills all the Jedi in the temple, or a lot of them. Some escaped. And then he ends up going to Mustafar and kills all the Separatist leaders and shuts down all the droids. So then after that, we have the creation of the Galactic Empire in the Senate. And the Emperor basically blames the Jedi for trying to overthrow the Republic. The Emperor then has a battle with Yoda, and that's another great duel. And during that time also, we have Obi-Wan and Anakin fighting. This hands down is the greatest lightsaber battle in all of Star Wars. You have all the elements, they're best friends turned enemies. You have the lava, you have all the crazy flips and lightsaber moves and the Force. It's all just great. And that's why I gave episode 3 an 8.6, because it's basically the creation of Darth Vader. All of Star Wars episodes 1 through 9 are about, 1 through 6, I would say more, are about Anakin. It's not about Luke, it's not about Leia, it's about Anakin. It's always been about Anakin. He's the chosen one. So we have the fall of the chosen one completed in episode 3. The one thing that I didn't like in episode 3 is I wish that they would have had a little different of a way to have Vader come out of the room when he's laying on the medical table. It's kind of like a Frankenstein looking scene, and I wasn't really a big fan of that. But still, you have James Earl Jones' voice at the end, and that leads eventually right into, the next part of Star Wars, which is Solo. So, let me know what you guys think about this video in the comments. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. I'm going to be continuing this tomorrow. Tomorrow will be about the two, it'll be about Solo and Rogue One. So thanks again for watching, guys. Peace out.